You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Our telephone number is 844-RADIO-US, 844-723-4687. Interesting things beginning to sort of fade into the public consciousness regarding General Michael Flynn. As you know, General Michael Flynn, after being assured by the FBI that there was no big deal, they just wanted to talk to him a little bit, was lured into a perjury trap. It had nothing to do with what actually happened. He got fired for lying to the Vice President of the United States, which was righteous. But this perjury trap thing, this was a procedural crime, but much ballyhooed by all the people that were trying to assign guilt and Russian collusion to the President of the United States. Strangely, the report said that no American was involved in Russian collusion, and of course that included Michael Flynn. And so suddenly Michael Flynn, involved in some sort of perjury allegation for lying to the FBI, apparently he wasn't lying because there wasn't anything to lie about. There is a new legal team surrounding Michael Flynn. They're having serious problems with the plea bargain deal that the general accepted. During a tense exchange last month, Flynn's new legal team accused a federal prosecutor of trying to coerce the former Trump national security advisor to lie under oath. New Flynn attorney Sidney Powell told prosecutors, quote, "You're asking my client to lie." Prosecutor Brandon Van Grack shot back immediately, "No one is asking your client to lie. Be careful about what you say." Oh, yeah? A little bit of kind of heavy-handed coercion against the defense attorney there, Mr. Van Grack. He's a one-time member of former special counsel Robert Mueller's team. Interesting. How strange that he would have this role. He's still assigned to the Flynn case. The entire conversation became very heated. This according to Flynn lawyer Lindsay McCasson. Her notes were submitted to a federal judge in Washington who's expected to sentence Flynn on a felony false statement charge he pled guilty to in 2017 as part of a plea deal with Mueller's team. I want that judge to throw that plea bargain out. He can do it. The newly released notes provide added details about a dispute that spilled into public view earlier this week after it was revealed prosecutors had dropped plans to call Flynn as a key witness in the looming trial of his former business partner, Bijan Rafikian. The decision to drop Flynn as a prosecution witness. That's what happens when you try to say witness and look at the word Rafikian. Yeah, you get witness. Anyway, they're planning on dropping him as a witness in Rafikian's trial. The decision startled District Judge Emmett Sullivan, who is a fair-minded man. He has repeatedly postponed Flynn's sentencing in order to allow the former Defense Intelligence Agency chief to demonstrate his cooperation with the government by testifying at the trial. The court filing from Flynn's lawyer was in response to Sullivan's request for more details from prosecutors and Flynn's legal team about the reversal and how it would affect Flynn's sentencing. It should throw the whole thing out. As recently as last month, prosecutors gave Flynn high marks for his cooperation. At the initial sentencing hearing last December, prosecutors recommended no jail time for Flynn, who spent 24 days as President Donald Trump's first national security advisor, before being fired for misleading his colleagues and investigators about his contacts with Russian officials. But about a month ago, Flynn dropped his lawyers from major Washington law firm Covington Burling and shifted to a team led by Powell, a Texas attorney who became a major presence on cable TV with barbed critiques of Mueller's squad. The move led to speculation that Flynn might adopt a more combative posture toward prosecutors, perhaps even trying to back out of his plea deal. I would if I were him. By the way, I want to thank Josh Gerstein from Politico for writing this. Real first-rate journalism here. This is good. Strange for Politico, but good. Actually, Politico's not that bad. But they do have a tendency to dip into the biased, and it's really annoying that they do. Powell insisted when she came on board that Flynn was not looking at trying to get away from the plea bargain, but some of that may not necessarily be the case now. Flynn's lawyers and prosecutors are at loggerheads. Van Grack is accusing Flynn of going back on some of the facts he admitted to as part of the 2017 deal. This is the language your client agreed to, said Van Grack. Well, if it's a lie, counselor, then he's agreeing because he's being intimidated into doing so. You've already destroyed his finances. You've already taken his house. Flynn lawyer Bill Hodes said that while his client conceded as part of his plea deal some documents his firm submitted to the Justice Department about its Turkey-related lobbying and that those papers were inaccurate, Flynn never admitted that those misstatements were intentional or deliberate. He did not knowingly make the statements he knew were wrong. He never knowingly made the statements that he knew were wrong. The comment prompted Van Grack to respond that an accidental misstatement is not a crime. Without willfully knowingly, it doesn't make this an offense, he said. Prosecutors have also been alarmed by the fact that Powell is unabashedly hostile to the prosecution's pending case against Rafikian, who is charged with conspiracy and acting as an unregistered agent for Turkey's government. Flynn's lawyer asked, "Where the hell's your case?" He went on to suggest that prosecutors, or she went on to suggest that prosecutors were looking to send Rafiki into prison for 15 years solely for his involvement in writing an Election Day 2016 op-ed prosecutors said was intended to advance Turkish government interests. What about that First Amendment free speech thing? Prosecutors have yet to indicate whether the recent developments will lead to a change in their stance on Flynn's sentence. Both sides have urged Sullivan to continue to hold off on the sentencing because it's possible Flynn could be called as a defense witness, which apparently is off the table. For their part, Flynn's lawyer said he's still cooperating with prosecutors despite their apparent dissatisfaction with his current stance. He needs to back out of this. They need to start this over again. I'm pretty sure it's not going anywhere. I'm pretty sure that Judge Sullivan is looking for an opportunity to throw this whole thing out of his courtroom. I'm very sure that Emmett Sullivan is not going to give General Flynn any kind of jail time. What I want the judge to do is to reduce the charge to something resembling a misdemeanor. A United States general as a felon looks mighty ugly. Let's not do it, shall we? Speaking of looking mighty ugly, well, there are all kinds of things going on. It has to do with the border again. It has to do with ICE officials. It has to do with guess who? AOC. We'll get to that coming up in just a little bit. There are going to be ICE raids, nationwide raids to arrest thousands of members of undocumented families, have been scheduled to begin on Sunday. This according to two current and one former Homeland Security officials. Two current and former one, so yeah, okay. Moving forward with a rapidly changing operation, the final details of which remain in flux. This according to Caitlin Dickerson and Zolan Kano-Youngs of the New York Times. The operation, backed by President Trump, has been postponed partly because of the resistance among officials at his own immigration agency. The raids, which will be conducted by Immigration and Customs Enforcement over multiple days, will include collateral deportations, according to the officials, who spoke on the condition of anonymity because they're chicken. In those deportations, the authorities might detain immigrants who happen to be on the scene, even though they were not targets of the raids. When possible, family members who are arrested together will be held in family detention centers here in Texas and in Pennsylvania. But because of space limitations, some might end up staying in hotel rooms until their travel documents can be prepared. ICE's goal is to deport the families as quickly as possible. The officials said ICE agents were targeting at least 2,000 immigrants who have been ordered deported. This after due process, this after court hearings. Some as a result of their failure to appear in court, but who remain in the country illegally. The operation is expected to take place at least 10 major cities. The families being targeted across the border recently. The Trump administration expedited their immigration proceedings last fall In February, many of those immigrants were given notice to report to an ICE office and leave the U.S. Matthew Bork, an ICE spokesman, said in a statement that the agency would not comment on specific details related to enforcement operations to ensure the safety and security of agency personnel. Good. Politico reports this. President Donald Trump insisted the upcoming raids on immigration miscreants set to begin this weekend will focus primarily on deporting criminals, though he acknowledges his administration will target anybody who entered the country illegally. We're looking for criminals as much as we can. The problem with it is that the illegal aliens are criminals. We're looking into getting rid of the criminals as much as we can. He's trying to find the criminal population which has been coming into this country for the last 10 years. He said he's been able to get rid of MS-13 by the thousands. That's good. Those guys are hoods. We're really specifically looking for bad players. We're also looking for people who came into our country not through a process, just walked over a line. They have to leave. The raids, which Trump said will begin Sunday, have been roundly condemned by Democrats and civil rights groups. The efforts will include collateral deportations, the removal of immigrants who happen to be on the scene, even though they were not targets of the raids. Good. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has encouraged religious groups to speak up in opposition for the removals, suggesting evangelicals' objections when Trump first threatened mass deportations last month may have swayed the White House and could do so again. By the way, Nancy Pelosi is the same Speaker of the House that spent significant time yesterday explaining in great detail how illegal aliens could avoid being arrested by ICE officials, saying that they have to see a warrant before they go with those ICE officials. How nice. The president shrugged off concerns that news of the impending operation could jeopardize the safety of Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers. One worry cited by acting Homeland Security Secretary Kevin McAleenan last month when denying accusations he'd leaked initial plans of the mass raids. Here's the situation. Why would the Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials have anything to worry about with people that are just simply trying to find asylum from dangerous countries they used to live in? Why would they have to worry? Why would any of these ICE officials have to worry about getting shot by one of these people if they're such nice, wonderful people that no one should have to worry about? Is that the left trying to have their cake and eat it too? The answer is, yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's the left trying to have it both ways. Trump indicated he was unbothered by potential targets of the raids getting a heads up. Now, we're not giving warning. There's nothing to be secret about. ICE is law enforcement. They're great patriots. They have a tough job. Nothing to be secret about. If the word gets out, it's because hundreds of people know about it. It's a major operation. The best thing to do if you're here illegally is to go home today. Because regardless of what I consider to be criminal abuse of the political process by one great American political party, while I consider that abuse of power, eventually they're going to get around to getting people that are living in the country illegally out of this country sooner or later. But it's going to happen. I suggest you leave now and avoid the rush. Trump never wanted to pass up an opportunity to ding one of his potential 2020 opponents. Took a shot at New York Mayor Bill de Blasio over his opposition to the raids, contending that most mayors want them. The mayors in sanctuary cities like Mayor Bill de Blasio, who may be the worst mayor in the country from New York, I don't even know what his attitude is. Nobody does because he doesn't work very hard. Nobody knows what the hell he does. But a guy like de Blasio probably wouldn't want the raid. The president argued most mayors do. Most mayors do. You know why? They don't want to have crimes in their cities or their states. So there you go. By the way, it didn't take very long for Latinos to realize that Joe Biden has kind of a checkered past when it comes to dealing with illegal aliens. And they're letting him hear about it too. You're listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. I'll get to all of that coming up in just a couple of moments. Telephone number is 844-RADIO-US, 844-723-4687. You are perfectly welcome to join us and spend time discussing the issues of the day. I want to say thanks to Steve Merriman, Jerry Shahane, Vicky Modica, CSM Charles Turbeville. CSM, good to hear from you. James Robertson is back. Hey, James. What are you doing, brother? Isaac Tate, the voters make that decision. What decision is that? I'll have to ask Isaac Tate, who is a strong Democrat, to explain what he just said in the chat room. Back with more in a moment on the Wells Report.
If you're over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity in the next 60 days, I have some important news for you. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. A free book to help you maximize your retirement income from television host and three-time author Josh Melberg has been released. This book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms. Grab a pen right now because we are about to offer you this free book that unlocks the 5 little-known secrets we believe baby boomers and seniors should know before buying an annuity. Call 800-985-1813 now, and you'll receive a free copy of Josh Melberg's book, Next Gen Annuity Strategies Revealed. As a bonus, we'll also send you a copy of The #1 Mistakes Retirees Are Making with Their Investments Today, and a free DVD on how you can get up to 33% more income in retirement. Call 800-985-1813 now. Again, that's 800-985-1813. Employees of J.D. Melberg Financial have the appropriate licenses for the products they offer.
Do you have an idea for an invention or new product? Do you think companies would be interested in your idea? Do you want to try to get a patent? Then call InventHelp now. InventHelp keeps your idea confidential and explains every step of the invention process. We create professional materials representing your idea and submit it to companies who are looking for new ideas. We have more than 9,000 companies who have agreed to review ideas in confidence. If a company shows interest in manufacturing your invention, we can negotiate on your behalf. We have helped over 10,000 clients receive patents. We also offer services including 3D modeling and animation demonstrating your idea, prototyping services, and we use state-of-the-art technology to show InventHelp client ideas to additional companies. Join the thousands of people just like you who chose InventHelp to pursue their idea. We are experienced. We are working for you. We are InventHelp.
Call us for free information at 1-800-460-1663. That's 1-800-460-1663. Again, 1-800-460-1663.
Have you written a book and want to get it published? Then call Page Publishing at 800-605-6995 immediately. That's 800-605-6995. Page Publishing is looking for authors of all types of books. And unlike most publishers, Page Publishing will take the time to review each and every book submitted to them and give you their feedback. If they like what they read, they'll get your book into bookstores and for sale online at Amazon, the Apple iTunes Store, Barnes & Noble, and other outlets. They handle everything: editing, cover design, copyright protection, printing, publicity, and distribution. So if you've written a novel, children's book, cookbook, inspirational work, poetry, or a biography and want to get it published, then you need to call Page Publishing and do it immediately. Call 800-605-6995 now for your free author submission kit. Again, for your free author submission kit, call 800-605-6995. That's 800-605-6995. Your road to fame and fortune could very well start with this simple phone call. Call Page Publishing at 800-605-6995 for your free author submission kit.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Somebody happened to notice that that former Vice President Joe Biden had to answer for policies that led to President Obama being known as the deporter-in-chief. Yeah. Biden has a two-word retort to recent questions about his record on civil rights and race. Barack Obama. When it comes to Latinos and immigration, Biden is learning the Obama defense doesn't do the trick. The former Democrat administration's mass deportation of 3 million people provoked fear and fury in the community at the time. Bad taste has lingered with Donald Trump in the White House. Yeah. Enriquez Henry, who was mobilizing Latinos to influence the Iowa caucuses, called the major deportations during Obama's presidency a terrible time for Latinos, and Biden needs to do his penance. Interesting. Very interesting. Various anti-American leftist progressive thugs have different ideas about all this. Immigrant advocates, they're not immigrants. They're illegal aliens. So illegal alien advocates were bracing for a massive sweep of arrests and detentions amid reports the roundup in at least 10 major cities could begin this weekend. ICE officials would neither confirm nor deny in the New York Times report that you just heard. Citing multiple administration officials the newspaper did not name, the sweep would begin Sunday. No one arrested in the immigration rage should be deported without a fair day in court, said American Immigration Council. We're recruiting and training immigration attorneys from around the country to ensure this happens. Excuse me, Mr. American Immigration Council personage. These people that are being rounded up have already had their day in court. They've already had a fair day in court. So you're saying they need another fair day in court? Is that what you're saying? Why are you saying that? Well, because you don't want them to leave the nation at all. I get that. I understand. You're going to lose this one, however. You've got to understand that. The people of the United States, sooner or later, will make this decision for you. And all the demagoguery in a sympathetic press, all of that is not going to save this intellectually suspect agenda. Just saying. One last little thing, one last little Trump nugget. I'm having trouble nailing this down. And the reason I'm having trouble nailing this down is because there's not a lot of reporting on it in the American press. And the European press is, well, it's like drinking from a fire hose on this particular story. President Trump backed former aide Sebastian Gorka. You see, after the Rose Garden speech yesterday that we covered here on the Wells Report on the USA Radio Network, apparently Brian Karem, who is a reporter for Playboy magazine, taunted Gorka, who in turn called him a punk. Trump says Gorka wins big, no contest. The squabble occurred at the White House social media summit. Reporters were camped out in the Rose Garden. In video caught by Jim Hansen, Karem describes the attendees as, quote, a group of people that are eager for demonic possession. Gorka turned around and yelled, "You're a journalist, right?" In response, Karem says that we can go outside and have a long conversation. They were already outside, in case you're wondering. Yeah, Brian tried to pick a fight with Sebastian Gorka, which would be a bad idea. Gorka then asked Karem, who's also a CNN contributor, if he's threatening him in the Rose Garden, and starts to approach Karem. "You're a punk. You're not a journalist. You're a punk," he yells at Karem, who responds by urging Gorka to get a job. Someone behind the camera told Karem that Gorka could kick your punk bottom, but he used a different word. Yeah, the Secret Service, they watched all of this. They're going, no, not so much. Initial video, it only showed Gorka yelling at Karem, leading other White House reporters to rally to Karem's side and present the incident as an instance of their own mistreatment. But then somebody went ahead and, like so many times in the past, went ahead and showed the entire video. Yeah. And then suddenly the story began to change in Gorka's favor. Yeah, this is a mess. This is absolutely a mess. But people are finally standing up to a corrupt press and an even more corrupt anti-American leftist progressive thuggery. You're listening to the Wells Report. More in just a moment on the USA Radio Network.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS and you cannot afford to make payments to the IRS, you may qualify for the CNC tax program. This is a new program, and if you qualify, you won't make any payments to the IRS while in this program. Once you're accepted into this program, the IRS is forced to stop all harassing collection activities. No threatening phone calls, no wage garnishments, no bank levies, and no more monthly payments to the IRS. Get ready to write this number down. It's the most important number you'll ever need to end your IRS tax nightmare. Call Paramount Tax Relief at 800-547-4804 for a free confidential consultation to find out if you qualify for the CNC tax program. Once you are accepted into the CNC tax program, you won't make any payments to the IRS while in this program. Call Paramount Tax Relief now at 800-547-4804. That's 800-547-4804. Again, 800-547-4804.